Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video we're going to talk about all things Prince Harry. The Duke of Sussex returned to the UK to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Invictus Games. Before we get started, might I just say, Prince Harry looked mighty dapper, if I do say so myself. And with all the talk about the Invictus Games, on Twitter alone it's been trending for days now, the chief executive of Invictus Games, Dominic Reed, took the time to answer some questions about Prince Harry and the Invictus Games. Now, according to Reed, Invictus was always Harry's patronage. It's not a royal patronage, it's not a gift of the royal family, it is his, meaning Harry's, thing. And we're delighted to have him as our patron. So, there you have it, folks. So for all the girlies on social media and the Royal Rota Pack who have constantly been criticizing and nitpicking on the Invictus Games and Harry, perhaps they should put their focus onto the multitude of royal patronages without a patron. Or better yet, the royal patronages who do have patrons who are missing in action. Not even Zoom calls. So, yeah. Now, as soon as Harry got to the UK, his people put out a statement saying that no, he will not be seeing King Charles. It still takes me a while to get used to that. Basically saying that he's not going to be meeting with his father. And of course, the British press were quick to celebrate, thinking that somehow Charles snubbing Harry would be seen as something positive. But as far as I can see, a lot of the commentary on social media and a lot of the call-in folk on some of these shows in the British media don't see Charles's snub as a positive thing. Now, when I checked my Twitter this morning, the trending topics were very interesting to me. So you see Invictus trending at 34.7 thousand posts. Trending as well was Charles and William. Trending with Charles Spencer, of course, that's Prince Harry's uncle, and hashtag King Charles the Cruel. Yikes.
I feel very strongly that it's a disgraceful way to treat his son. I listened to Carol, and she describes his book Spare as a temper tantrum. I would say it's more of a very honest account of a rather toxic family. The problem is, the royal family have been deeply toxic hostile to outsiders. They have a history of it.
Go on.
The lamentable history of the royal family. And one of the tenets of the Church of England, of which King Charles is the head, is forgiveness.
That's true,
and I
Gemma.
think you have to
You think, Gemma? Forgive. Thank you, Sally.
Apparently King Charles is snubbing Prince Harry again when Harry visits the UK. Oh, how grown up of him. It's not enough that he's given Prince William the job of Colonel-in-Chief at Prince Harry's old regiment. Now he hasn't got time to meet Harry. Can't think what he's doing with his time. It's good to see the royal family leading by a good example. Yeah, they're excellent at that. What with all the extramarital affairs, the having a dodgy uncle in the family. We've all got one, haven't we? Sort of helps us relate to the landed gentry. I wonder if King Charles snubs his brother. Anyway, back to the king and his spare son. As the head of the Church of England, shouldn't King Charles be practising what the religion espouses and be offering some forgiveness?
And you've got to admit, they've got a point. Charles has been consistently petty. And also, he is the head of the Church of England. Yet, a lot of his life choices are not complimentary to the position that he holds.
Well, I'm definitely on Harry's side over this, and I think when JJ said King Charles is king first and parent second, well, sometimes I wonder why people want to be parents when being a parent should be the first thing and should be the priority, in my opinion. And as I say, it should be down to King Charles to actually make the first move here. Well, I definitely think it should be father first and king second. I think Harry and Meghan are the best two members of the royal family, and I just think good on them for doing things their own way, and I am disgusted.
Paul, do you think that we were talking about how these figures came out on Monday, which showed the lowest support for the royal family for quite many decades. Do you think the royal family would be more popular had Harry and Meghan chosen to stay in the country?
I think, to be honest, people go on about William being king, but I doubt he will be, because I just think today's younger people, I have 2 nephews and 2 nieces, most of them in their early 20s to mid-20s, and none of them are really interested in the royal family. I just think eventually, regardless of this, that people will look towards an elected head of state in the end.
So there you have it. The general consensus, as I've seen, whether it's the trending topics on Twitter or the multitude of stories on mainstream media, the consensus is that Charles is being petty and problematic, and it is incumbent upon him to do better. All in all, it's interesting to see how this story of the king snubbing Prince Harry has now turned into a negative for the palace. And on the other spectrum, the Spencers were in attendance, showing support for the Invictus Games and of course for their nephew, Prince Harry. Prince Harry's uncle, aunt, and cousins were also in attendance. And I'm sorry, but these videos of Prince Harry hugging his aunt, hugging his uncle, and just looking very happy and at peace warms my heart. And seeing the headlines surrounding the show of support from the Spencers has been wonderful to see as well. What the Spencers' public support has done has also helped to reframe the attention concerning Harry's trip to the UK. Now remember, there were stories saying, oh well, Harry is snubbed by his father and he looks so lonely, the solo man walking up the steps all alone, no family, no Meghan. And the Spencers showed up and said, no, he's not alone. We're here. We're supporting him. He also has other family. I'm not surprised that they showed up. Remember, they have always been involved whenever Harry and Meghan have had the christening for their children, whether it's Prince Archie or Princess Elizabeth's christening in the US. Prince Harry's aunts flew to California just to be there. So it's nice to see. 2 of my favorite photos from the event was this one here with Prince Harry hugging his uncle Charles, and this one here where he's smiling and talking with his aunt. And forgive me for being a little bit sentimental, but a part of me wonders if Princess Diana is on the other side, just smiling and thinking to herself, thank you, brother. Thank you, sister, for loving and supporting my baby boy when he needs it most. And one of my other favorite photos is of Prince Harry smiling and talking to the little ones of the choir. How adorable is that? And from the photos and videos of the event, I'd say that the 10-year Invictus Game anniversary celebration was a smashing success. It was wonderful to see so many of the different veterans come out and in unison just celebrate the Invictus spirit, the Invictus community, while looking forward to years of celebrations, collaboration, and love. So as well as the love and support from the Invictus community and the Spencers, Prince Harry received a lot of love from the people of Britain. On such a sunny and beautiful day, crowds gathered to get a peek of the prince. And not only that, it was lovely to see him go out there and interact with well-wishers. Cheers, we love you, Harrys. You can even hear someone saying in the background, we came from Barcelona.
We love you, Harry.
It was very interesting to see 3 people at that event that I didn't expect to see there. And these 3 people in question is one of the fellows, I think, was it Cameron something from GB News? He's very vocal about his dislike for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as well as Chris Shipp. Remember, Chris told us when they left in 2020 that he will no longer be covering them. But here we are, 4 years later. Chris is still here, anxious to get a glimpse of Harry from the video clip that I saw of him. And also Stalker Matt from The Sun, you know, the same one who flew to California to dig up dirt on the condition of Harry and Meghan's relationship. He also flew to the Invictus Games. Was it in Germany or in the Netherlands? And you can see him inching closer to Harry and Meghan in the background, like a bit of a creep. And now you would think that he'd be at the King's garden party, but oh no, no. Maddie was there, catching a glimpse of Harry. I'm telling you, these people are obsessed.
There's very much, it is fair to say, huge support for the Duke of Sussex here outside St Paul's Cathedral in the sunshine.
And as I'm recording this on the 9th of May, it has been confirmed that Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan is going to be in Nigeria on the 10th.
Now confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be arriving in Nigeria on Friday. The Director of Sports, Defence Headquarters, Air Vice Marshal Abidemi Marquis, disclosed this at a news conference in Abuja. He said during the visit, Prince Harry and his wife will visit the Chief of Defence Staff and wounded soldiers in the reference hospital in Kaduna.
I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait to see Harry and Meghan in Nigeria.
Meghan and Harry being invited to Nigeria has got to be the biggest sting to Charles and the whole royal family. I don't think people realise how big this is. This is huge. This is Commonwealth, right? The whole Commonwealth conversation is on very thin ice right now. There's so many Commonwealth countries that want out, that don't want anything to do with being associated with the old English Empire, right? The fact that Meghan and Harry have been invited to Nigeria. And let's not forget the last time the royal family visited Africa. And no, it wasn't Africa actually. It was I think it was Jamaica, wasn't it? And the absolute PR disaster that was. Let me just remind you. No words. Just no words. Anyway, back to my point. So yes, them being invited to Nigeria is probably to King Charles a bit of a slap in the face.
What they're really doing is putting Kate and William in a terrible light. I mean, there's poor Kate suffering from her illnesses. They should be in Nigeria probably. They should be doing the work. And now the Sussexes have stepped in.
Can somebody tell Tom and these other royal correspondents they were not invited? Charles was not invited, nor was Camilla, nor was Kate, nor was William. Okay? Harry and Meghan are invited for the work that they're doing with Invictus, with the veterans. And even though the royal establishment has lambasted this couple for the past 4 years, all day, every day, for 4 years, they're still loved and supported by many globally. They're not working or representing the firm. This is just about them and the relationships that they are fostering within the veteran community globally. What's not clicking? Oh, this should be William and Kate's. This weird mentality of the heir versus the spare. It's absolutely unhinged. It's like in the minds of these people, everything that is good and wholesome should be William's. Did William work for it? No. If Nigeria was interested in working with William, they would have invited him. Okay? And also learn the lesson from that disastrous Commonwealth tour that William and Kate did. They weren't even invited to those Caribbean nations then. They decided to go on the Charm Offensive tour in response to Barbados nixing the Commonwealth connection. And we saw how that went. So even if William and Kate went to Nigeria, which, let's face it, they don't like to work, they're kind of lazy, that tour wouldn't have gone well either. Because if it's one thing William and Kate will collectively do whenever they're doing tours in nations that are predominantly black and brown, is to pull out the colonizer cosplay. It never fails. Prince Harry, who is the global ambassador for Scotty's Little Soldiers, also made a stop to have fun with the kids. Look at those smiles. Adorable. The Duke is quoted as saying, "It was an honor to meet so many of the wonderful families Scotty's Little Soldiers supports. I'm a huge supporter of the work and am very proud to be the very first global ambassador."
You know, it's interesting, the fact that no one else in the royal family came, but the Spencer family were there. He's going to be even more tied to his mother's side now. And, you know, she was known as the queen of people's hearts. And so maybe he's taking that role now. So it's very, very good PR for him. Obviously, this has to be about Invictus. It's a shame that most of the press are talking about the relationship rather than talking about Invictus. But yes, I'm in the UK right now, and you know, people don't talk about the royal family all the time. When we think about, oh my god, they're so hated, but they're not really. It's a few really bad trolls, that's all.
Wow. I don't know if everyone else is like me, but yesterday my heart was beating with a lot of joy and happiness watching Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, walk that walk of victory as he walked into that church yesterday, and hearing the crowd, oh my god, the British crowd yelling, "Harry, we love you," and put it to rest all the lies that the British media has been feeding on a daily basis everyone who cared to listen about how Harry isn't loved and should not be welcome to Britain. Oh,
shout out to the Spencers.